It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when Michael woke up feeling slightly off. He chalked it up to a long week at work and the stress of juggling family commitments. As he brewed his coffee, he felt a strange heaviness in his chest, but he dismissed it, attributing it to the extra slice of pizza he had indulged in the night before. Little did he know, this was the beginning of a week filled with subtle yet alarming signs that would change his life forever. By Wednesday, the heaviness in Michael's chest had morphed into a dull ache that radiated to his left arm. He noticed it while he was playing catch with his son in the backyard. Each throw felt increasingly laborious, and he found himself taking breaks more frequently than usual. He brushed it off, thinking he was just out of shape, but deep down, a nagging voice urged him to pay attention. On Thursday, the discomfort escalated into a sensation of tightness that wrapped around his chest like a vice. It was a busy day at the office, filled with back-to-back meetings and deadlines. As he sat through the conference call, he felt a wave of nausea wash over him. He glanced at his computer screen, but the words began to blur. He took a deep breath, hoping it would pass, but the feeling lingered, gnawing at him. He told himself he just needed to drink more water and get through the day. Friday brought with it a sense of fatigue that was unusual for him. He had always prided himself on his energy and enthusiasm, but this day was different. He struggled to keep his eyes open during lunch with colleagues. The laughter and chatter around him felt distant, as if he were watching a scene from a movie rather than participating in it. When he returned home, he collapsed on the couch, too exhausted to engage with his family. His wife, Sarah, noticed his pallor and asked if he was feeling okay. He shrugged it off, insisting he was just tired from work. As the weekend approached, Michael's symptoms began to compound. On Saturday morning, he experienced shortness of breath while climbing the stairs. Each step felt like a mile, and he had to pause halfway to catch his breath. Panic began to creep in, but he brushed it aside. After all, he was a 45-year-old man with a busy lifestyle, and surely he was just out of shape. That evening, they hosted a small family gathering, and he felt a wave of anxiety wash over him as he tried to engage with his relatives. He felt a tightness in his chest again, accompanied by a feeling of impending doom that he couldn't shake off. By Sunday, the signs were undeniable. He woke up drenched in sweat, his heart racing as though he had just run a marathon. The sensation of tightness had returned, now accompanied by a sharp pain that shot through his jaw. He remembered reading somewhere that jaw pain could be a symptom of a heart attack, but he dismissed it as mere coincidence. After all, he had a busy week ahead, and he couldn't afford to be sidelined. However, as he prepared for work on Monday, he experienced what felt like heart palpitations. It was as if his heart was trying to escape from his chest. Each beat was loud and irregular, and he could feel the panic rising within him. He took a moment to breathe, reminding himself that he was just stressed. Yet the nagging voice in the back of his mind grew louder, urging him to take these signs seriously. On Tuesday, Michael woke up with a sense of urgency. He could no longer ignore the signs. As he sat at the kitchen table, he reflected on the past week, the heaviness, the pain, radiating to his arm, the nausea, the fatigue, the shortness of breath, the anxiety, the sweating, the racing heart, and the jaw pain. All of these symptoms were interconnected, forming a tapestry of warning signals that he had overlooked. Recognizing these 10 early warning signs of a heart attack could potentially save his life and the lives of those he loved. He recalled the stories of friends and family who had suffered heart attacks, many of whom had ignored their bodies' cries for help. With a newfound determination, he decided to call his doctor. As he sat in the waiting room, he felt a mix of fear and relief. Fear of what the doctor might say, but relief that he had finally chosen to listen to his body. The doctor entered the room with a reassuring smile, but Michael could see the concern in his eyes as he recounted the symptoms he had experienced over the past week. After a thorough examination and an EKG, the doctor sat down across from him. "Michael, you did the right thing by coming in. Many people dismiss these signs, but they can indicate serious heart issues. You're fortunate that you recognize them early." Those words echoed in Michael's mind as he left the office, a weight lifted off his shoulders. He realized that acknowledging these signs was not a sign of weakness, but rather an act of courage. He had taken control of his health and in doing so had potentially changed the trajectory of his life. In the following weeks, Michael committed to making lifestyle changes, prioritizing his health over the demands of work and life. He began exercising regularly, eating healthier, and managing his stress. He also made it a point to educate his family about the importance of recognizing the signs of a heart attack, sharing his experience with them as a cautionary tale. Through this journey, Michael learned that sometimes the greatest battles are fought within ourselves. Recognizing the signs of a heart attack not only saved his life, but also empowered him to be a beacon of awareness for others. As he embraced this new chapter, he felt a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that he was not just living for himself, but for his family, armed with the knowledge that could save lives.